Informing SRX, the leading estate agencies of Singapore are highlighting the importance of relevant, accurate data and listings to the consumer and to the industry. In today's information age, we have the ability to put live data into the hands of professional agents in real time. For example, participating agents on the SRX see sales and rental transactions within hours of closing by looking on their smartphones or their tablets. In a matter of seconds, Home Report takes live data feeds and user input to generate pricing and other calculations. It would take an agent or analyst days to collect and calculate that information, and then if he or she wants to ask what if or change some assumptions, he or she would take another day to recalculate everything. SRX technology does that in 30 seconds. That is what it means to work in the information age. In fact, SRX is the only place to get rental transaction information in all of Singapore. It is the only place for real-time live sales transaction information. It's the only place where an agent can compare a unit with the recent transactions of 10 similar units in less than 30 seconds. It is the only place that has a mechanism for electronically validating and promoting listings that are compliant with the rules prescribed by CEA. Therefore, the challenge is no longer collecting or calculating the information, as this can be achieved in 30 seconds. The challenge is interpreting and analyzing the information so that agents are better able to advise their consumers and clients. Likewise, with this greater understanding of the market, consumers can be more confident when transacting property. Today, we are privileged to have a prestigious list of speakers who will share their valuable insight about the Singapore real estate market. The speakers will draw on their experience in the industry, in the investment world, and in academia to suggest new and different ways of looking at the market with real-time data. In addition, we will examine information that's never before seen in the public. I'm very excited by the data and the ideas that we have, and so I'd like to just give you a quick preview of the highlights today. Our first speaker, Brent Smith, will talk about placing value on advice. He'll also talk about the fiduciary responsibility of advisors, which most of us in this room are. And also he'll talk about reputation and how important that is, especially in this age of information. Then Hamish and Ayman will talk about the brain in investing. How does the brain impact the way we look at the marketplace? They'll talk about the risk comparison of Singapore property with other asset classes, such as equities or bonds. And they'll talk about fair value pricing. Then we're very fortunate to have the CEOs and MDs of all of the major agencies here in Singapore. And we're going to have fun. We're going to put some live data up on the screen and get their reaction and get their views. So real-time data will include the most current sales transactions available, unit rental information, rental yields, which has never before been seen in this granular fashion. And we'll also look at price trends and volume trends. We'll also have lunch afterwards, and this is a good opportunity to network. This is a great opportunity. We have elite agents in this room. We have the leaders of the industry, and I hope that you take advantage of the lunch to meet with your colleagues, both within your own agencies and also outside with other agencies. After lunch, we'll have an iPad 2. We're a technology company, and so the type of lucky draws we do are technology related. So in this case, will be iPad 2, which you can run your SR analytics on. You have to be present for that. Then Wen Lan will come on, a professor from NUS, and we'll talk about liquidity and the illiquidity of the real estate market and how that's going to impact price. Following Professor Wen Lan, we'll have Lucas. He'll come up and talk about the bubble analysis, affordability analysis, very interesting information on where the affordability index is here in Singapore, and also talk about rental yield analysis and how that will help you look at identifying the bubble. Then we'll have Joseph come up, another professor from NUS, and he'll talk about the spillover effect of new development on the resale market. Then we'll have our second CEO and MD forum. This will be a different group of leaders from the state agencies. We'll cover some of the same information, but we'll also look at some additional slides having to do with foreign purchases, et cetera. Then we'll have our second lucky draw, again, an iPad 2. And finally, I'll come back on and I'll give you a few takeaways based on today's conference. Afterwards, we have a special demonstration on our data with Jeremy Lee, who's our Chief Technology Officer. And we were going to do it at lunch down here, but due to the internet connection, we're going to do it afterwards up in the foyer. But if you have some time at 5 o'clock and you want to stick around, I think it's going to be an exciting event. You can basically ask any type of questions that you have about data, and then he'll run in less than 30 seconds. He'll run statistical analysis for you, so you can break down. You can look at property by project type, or rather a property type. You can look at it by district, by location, by size, by time. Whatever you want to do in terms of slicing and dicing the information, you can compare Mickey Mouse units in one district to another district, projects in one district to another district, and it's very granular information. And by the end of the day, you might have some questions from the conference, and that's a good time to get some more information or more data from Jeremy. A few admin notes before we get started with our speakers. We will run this just as a speech. There'll be no questions and answers, so if you can hold your questions and answers for the speakers to lunch and networking time during the tea break. Also, you can use your tablets to follow along with all the data that we're going to be presenting. So you just sign on to this link, srx.com.sg/singpac. And with that said, I hope you find this conference very productive. And I will now turn it over to our Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Alvin Un.